Oh no, he's cute. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? Not as tasty as the one I had the day before yesterday. Chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. Weren't expecting that, were you? You weren't expecting that. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and today I'd like to play a game from the Spooktober Game Jam. But it's November. Shut up. So for this spooky November, I'd like to play a highly recommended game called Don't Eat the Cashier. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. 0 responses. I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. Gotta get that bag. I found this note stuck to the glass of a bus stop. Human organism wanted for work at gas station. Organism's duties include selling food for mouth, silence, and obedience. Household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient. Friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends. Long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. We swear these are human places. Food for mouth. Seriously? This guy's got a style of his own. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude, or this is their new marketing tactic to grab attention. Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too, and that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Ooh, I want to see your fursuit. Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who will hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. I don't mind. That's nothing. What's up, boss? When do I start? I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination? Psychosis? Too many energy drinks? Playing Bloodborne too late at night? A typical middle manager? The monster from my nightmares stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. MC, why are you assuming that I don't enjoy this? My God, the creature made a sound, not from a mouth. It had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk, hollow, profound, bone-shaking. Greetings, organism. I'm Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds. But you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No. This isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. They're saying that, and I'm just going, jackpot. No, I will not hit on my boss. We will be professional here. One tentacle, slowly, seductively beckoned me forward. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Okay. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1. You sell, no matter what, chicken food for the mouth, gremlin fuel, noodles made from cursed souls, lottery tickets for extra limb raffles, discount rot, ritual foil. Everything must be sold. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. You got it, boss. Skin foil? What was that? Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but didn't wake up. Rule number 2. Be polite to customers. Ignore bald spots in werewolf fur and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? Take notes, MC. But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency, and they should only pay in monetary units. Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. What am I going to do with all this Eye of Newt then? Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency. Excuse me, dear sir, you seem to have mentioned werewolves and ectoplasm. I don't believe that was in my resume. I am not properly equipped to deal with such things. My voice is as polite as ever. I manage to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down. Werewolves? And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles. Darn you. I shall answer your question, curious polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. Jackpot? This is all you need to know. Okay. That is all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. Please do not reveal the secrets of the universe to me. For the first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's many-eyed face. Oh, rare and Oh, I got a little heart from Bob. Oh no, I really am going to flirt with my manager. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. And what does the Human Employee of the Month get? A cash bonus of 25 cents. What is this, Five Nights at Freddy's? I understand that you, human, are already extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You will also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle. I want to see how this guy uses the bathroom. During its use, there is only a 7% chance that you will be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable torment. Truly generous. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule, remember organism. This tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years. I couldn't take my eyes off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I am being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. Do you understand, organism? Yes, sir. Acceptable. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. But could you show me how to push the buttons? I point at the sticky buttons on the vending machine. Bob's central eye looks at my finger, then at the machine, then back at my face. The creature sighs. A tentacle extends from his body with torturous slowness. With the drama of a pianist playing the last tragic note, the tip of the tentacle presses down. Bob waits expectantly. Got it? I don't think I want to tick off Bob here. Bobby seems like a man with a plan, and me living is probably not part of that plan. Your capacity for learning is phenomenal. This concludes the briefing. Remain as polite an organism as you are. Okay, Bob. He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft gurgling sound as he waddled across the linoleum. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. I stood in the same spot, as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm going to wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again, and nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real, and that meant everything he said. It was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork, not the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to... Oh no, don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hex? Oh, hi. Where the heck did this clown come from? Ooh, clown. I like clowns. That guy. I don't know who that guy is, but that creepypasta guy, he's over there. I'm less scared of him and more scared of this gnome over here. It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes, burning in the pitch-black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Pop didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. Hopefully everyone is just really polite about that. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. But I love clowns. Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase from my fine establishment? Oh no, he's cute. Oh no, my other weakness, jesters and clowns and pierrots. Don't flirt with the customers. Don't eat the cashier. More like don't flirt with the customers. Purchase? I would like to purchase your attention. Well, you got it, honey. I suppose it's free. Wink. But only for you, sir. For me? Only for me? You spoil me to receive such an exclusive treasure, released in a limited edition. I feel like a king, although am I not already a king? No matter, I've never felt more regal than I do now. Well, I accept this generous offer, but a deal requires balance, doesn't it? In exchange for your attention, you shall receive mine. Hooray! Yes, MC, this is good. At least I think so. My God, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking, and it seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful, charming lady like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty isle of misfortune? I needed that bag. Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a charming lady as you? Oh wait, where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely lady. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King, a title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. The Mad King? Do you know my boy Shogarath? However, my mortal mother named me Darren. Darren? That's such a pretty name. You doing anything after this, Dee? Now, may I have your hand? In marriage? Now, while it would be smart to say, sorry, my mother told me not to offer my hand to strangers, or any other parts of me, sir, oh, your highness, but I gotta be dumb and say, sure, what do you want it for? Ah! He suddenly bows his head and presses his lips to my knuckles. Meeting you is truly a pleasure. His lips are cold, yet a ghostly warmth spreads across my skin. So here I am, dealing with a real gentleman. How lovely. Or a king, as he calls himself. Of all the kings and emperors locked in their soft chambers, this one has probably found a way to escape. May I know your name? I don't know if I should tell you my name. I don't immediately realize he's asking me a question, still in a daze from that gentlemanly kiss. My name is Espoir, but my friends call me Big D, or they would if I had any. What a pity. That name clearly has room to grow. It lacks subjects. How did it happen that there's no one to praise you, Big D? No one acknowledges my big, as my name, talents. That seems to be the problem. Oh, I understand what you mean. Your sincere, tender creativity. What a pity that sincerity doesn't pay the bills. Fate is a cruel, clumsy, and tasteless storyteller, isn't it? Don't worry. Those fools are to blame for not noticing your paintings with deep biblical references, and references to the works of old Japanese animators, and your Pokemon. Finally, someone who gets it. Wait. 1, how dare you? And 2, how did you know that? Yes, finally, someone who... No, not the Pokemon. Forgive me. I just believe that children's art is the most sincere and tender. You know, I used to draw when I was a child, too. Long, long ago. However, now I paint the world in shades of my own madness, which is also quite fascinating. This guy? I like this guy. I like what this guy's showing me. All this, I like him. Don't give me a reason to not like you. Indeed, incredibly fascinating. It really does feel like I've inhaled paint. I feel like my brain is turning to jelly. Well, actually, it's not that bad. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters, though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot. So, let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud! There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack, except for you, so I'm buying your time. Alright, that'll be $20. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us.
Sir, I don't like this!
I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. He just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump. Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. And my jar is gone. My freaking jar! You took my freaking jar? Alright, D. Alright, King D, listen here. What a wonderful place for dinner. Radioactive cockroaches on the menu? Of course. A local delicacy, pan-fried in their own radioactive juices to preserve the flavor. Ew. This isn't exactly what I was expecting when you said a romantic date. Crispy on the outside, still alive on the inside, they grant you the most thrilling superpowers. However, I can't go long without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands make me melancholic because all the fun has happened without me. Disgusting. Allow me. Alright, this is more like it. This is a little better. This is something seemingly less radioactive. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. It feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table. Or, if you can call that a table. Much better. Wouldn't you agree? Couldn't be better. It's beautiful and strange. Is this your house? Words of a true poet, Espoir. My 2 favorite categories, strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home. It's my cage, and my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye-bearing mushroom, it's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Oh. Including those that people make their homes out of. And now, you're part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming, but it'd be better without that frog with a human face. Who, that guy? Oh, that's just Tony. Don't worry about Tony. The frog notices me too. It lets out a sad croak, and then looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. What you do to Tony? Why's Tony looking at me like that? Yeah, but point at the frog with the human face. Who is that?
That's Lori, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority, my dear friend who once walked the path of adventure.
Oh, sorry, Lori. I thought your name was Tony.
However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs, fought to the end, a true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambience?
He looks at me with an interested expression. No. I don't mind. He's fine.
You don't mind? Excellent. I think he really sets the tone for the whole clearing, aesthetically. A living monument to the consequences of poor life choices. Lorley, did you hear that? The lady grants you a stay of execution. You may continue your pitiful mosquito-infested existence. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting.
Ooh. This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey, and next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poisonous or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too, so I pick up the fork from the table, and this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than these cheap instant noodles I usually buy in the supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite.
It seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well, on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner, at least not for the first half hour after the meal.
Thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier.
Purple goo? Huh, I'll have to tell the head chef you called it that. He calls it broth of viscous stars and deceit. But I think your description is more honest. And don't be too quick to call your life miserable. Until now it was just a prologue. But now, the first act begins.
I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. What's your favorite animal?
Glad you asked. It's right here on our plate. Just kidding, but I do need some time to think. Let's see, the riding flea has its own charms, very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they're dumb and noisy, and as we know, only what's empty inside makes a noise. Or what's in my head, it's always ringing. I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart, whether they're a saint or a serial killer, and doesn't notice the difference. It lives in a constant, joyful state of blissful ignorance and misplaced enthusiasm. A creature that finds endless joy in the utterly meaningless. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the jesters of the animal world, and I adore them for that, especially the small, wrinkly ones. And what about you?
Cats. To them, we're probably the jesters.
Oh, indeed. They are the true rulers of this reality, tiny furry gods of apathy and disdain, and we are their obedient, foolish caretakers.
I mean, where's the lie? There's no lie there.
But I've been lucky enough to escape their tyranny and instead enjoy my own and feed those around me.
I return to my meal, and as I chew another bite, I hear His Highness's voice.
By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough?
My fork freezes halfway. Why did I expect anything different? Vomit. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before yesterday. Chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. Weren't expecting that, were you? Were you? You weren't expecting that. I meet his gaze, slowly and with all authority, place a piece of meat in my mouth, and begin to chew without breaking eye contact. You thought you were gonna bamboozle me? You thought you were going to unsettle me? You thought you were gonna rustle my jimmies, good sir? Do you know who you're dealing with? This isn't my first time eating fictional human meat. Actually, it's kind of like the third or fourth time. I can't remember ever seeing someone so shocked in my life. His mad grin vanishes, his eyes widen, and his own fork freezes halfway to his mouth. For one precious, glorious, sweet moment, the Lord of Chaos is completely and utterly baffled.
My dear, you are a true treasure.
Uh-oh.
You didn't just call my bluff. You raised the stakes to the sky. No, it's certainly not human. It's just venison, as far as I can tell by taste. Not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy or our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron, perfectly sized to fit in it. Definitely not.
All right, as long as it's not Timmy. Timmy's a hard worker.
I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition, but that's besides the point. I rarely have visitors, and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here.
Aw. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink, and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at their master's whim. Ooh.
Behold, this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic, but gives the creators some leeway for expressiveness. Many brave and not-so-bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties.
Oh.
Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection, or concocting recipes with raisins.
Ooh. Listen silently. Keep going.
The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons, and others that they were grains.
Ugh. Hate to go through life thinking that I'm a grain. Like, I sure can't wait to become some wheat bread.
He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away, and he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory and promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water.
Keep going, King.
But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom, the first hero, Sir Loreley, the righteous, in all his clanging, self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster.
Ha!
He fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects too. By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders or lamentating their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair, the Grotto of Tentacles. Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure.
The grotto of my parents' disappointment in me? The grotto of kidney stone? Yeah, grotto of despair. Sounds right. Like, you roll up to it like, grotto of despair? How despairing could it be? And next thing you know, you're sinking in the mud.
Indeed, it's a place where one can so wonderfully despair. Let's not get sidetracked. Into the Grotto of Despair, our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. The ring of incredible power, a bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440-pound weight. That was its only magical property.
Only a mad king would make a ring that's like super heavy. Isn't that something that's also in Skyrim?
The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero, just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens.
No, the knight... No, not meaningfully. Waiting for him to continue.
So the knight perished. But then along came Elmer Eagle-Eye. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the 3rd day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the 4th wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot, constantly during breakfast, while bathing, at balls, during sleep, and even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity! I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody in his ears.
The memes!
Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves.
Is it just gold, 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 gold? That's Terry Pratchett joke. That's Terry Pratchett Discworld reference.
How long do you think you could sing about gold?
It's yellow and chinks and you buy things with it. About 4 seconds, I think.
Right, gets a bit repetitive after 5 hours.
Played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra, the pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf march is replaced with a lively elven sea shanty, and let no one dare excuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment.
Yes, but how's his dental plan? A happy ending, right?
For me, absolutely. I've never had such a good hunter in my life. I've never quite figured out where he gets all those species of animals, but no matter. And finally, the witch, in a classic giant hat under which you could easily fit another witch. She tried a different approach, seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse. A fatal miscalculation.
Should I be taking notes?
She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats, or people, especially when both come hand in hand.
Got it, no big hats. Logan, get out of here. Making references people probably don't even get.
And those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't earn the trust of His Highness. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. But back to hats.
Hats don't provoke any particular feelings in me.
No love, no hate, not even mild annoyance? Really? I suggest you quickly develop a strong opinion about them. They say it's a highly entertaining hobby, and useless, like any other good hobby. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery.
Ugh.
In any case, she now resides in my dungeon, and you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen.
Uh-oh.
I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Espoir. What punishment befits her?
What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? And does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway, but as long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. But what about kingly clown smooches? Maybe I should just entertain him. What should I do? Now, I would say the craziest thing would be to do nothing at all. Yeah, but turn her into a hat. A small one. Yeah.
The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it. Let her be a small cap of eternal regret.
Oh, he's so cute.
She tried to get into my head, and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence.
Woohoo! Yeah, something is missing from this tale. You never told me about the monster itself.
Dear, who cares about these monsters anyway?
I do. If monsters are the muck, then I'm the pig, you see?
How eloquent. All right. I must admit, this will be my first performance like this.
Darren sounds a bit bewildered, it seems. Uh-oh. I don't want the Mad King to do anything unexpected.
Allow me to toss my mind up and see how it lands. You see, the monster was originally much more modest and less majestic, but we all have to start somewhere, right? Then my head suddenly became a bit crowded. First whispers, then arguments, then full-fledged discussions that had to be participated in and involved inanimate objects. Guests in ajar doors, closets, even in cookie jars, every container a potential foe, and I was surrounded by containers. To be fair, sometimes they told funny stories. But why was I afflicted with this curse? Pondering it drives me mad, even more so.
It seems the question is meant for me. I'm going to remain silent and let him continue his lovely story.
I had to be temporarily isolated to avoid embarrassing guests at royal balls with the young prince pointing at noble lords and saying, "Ha, the gnomes finally got out from under my bed." What a misfortune for the entire family, except for those in line for the throne before me. My death would have solved many problems for my family, and indeed, many of my own problems too. I made a decision. We made it, to be precise. There was already a whole council of us by then. However, chaos had other plans. A god, a goddess, a cosmic clerical error. I don't know. Something ancient and terribly bored found itself a new source of entertainment. It offered me a throne, my own corner of reality to rule, where the fragments of my mind would become the laws of the land. No more restrictions, or pants for my subjects, if I wished. My subjects, at first, they disagreed, but then they came to terms, or their minds changed to fit the new realities, and here I am. A dramatic silence ensues. Perhaps I'm the first being to hear this story in the centuries of his existence. I must choose my next words carefully. Yeah, so you're still in a cage. It must be lonely. No cages. More like a playground with surprisingly silent infants. But I don't blame them. I have the best shovel. It's no wonder I embarrass them so much. Or maybe it's because I love to create explosions. Tell me, have you ever been exploded? Or no, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. Do you really sympathize with someone who dragged you into this dimension to tell silly stories and feed you purple goo? People never cease to amaze me.
I will touch his hand. Following a strange impulse, I reach out to his hand resting on the table. I'm going to instantly regret this decision, aren't I? His gaze slowly follows my movement, lowering to our hands. This time, no commentary. Instead, his thumb begins to trace patterns on the back of my hand with surprising tenderness. The shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat, or rather, became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case.
I am afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I shall send you back, Espoir.
I rise from the chair. Eep! And suddenly, I feel him press against my back. Oh no, Mr. Your Highness, please don't do whatever you're thinking about doing to poor little me and my poor little human body. One of his hands grips me just above the crook of my elbow, while the other gently rests under my chin, tilting my head back until my ear is just a couple of centimeters from his lips. Hot.
But don't think for a second that this is goodbye. It was merely an overture.
His voice, usually so mocking and calm, now sounds eerily sinister. A cold thumb lightly strokes the line of my jaw. I try to suppress a shiver.
You were a very interesting, incredibly curious guest, possibly the most curious one I've had in centuries, and I found that I don't want our acquaintance to end here. It's terribly unfair that you've learned a couple of my secrets and revealed so few of yours, isn't it?
I can't tell whether he's flirting or threatening. Both, perhaps. This is just his love language. Threats.
A bird trapped in a cage of bills, failures, and endless anxiety. How high could you fly once the cage is opened? Your shift will end, the sun will rise, and you'll want to head home, perhaps on something more elegant than a bus, maybe in a carriage of polished bones. We will meet again, Espoir, very, very soon, and next time, I won't let you go so quickly.
Monsieur, please! I'm gonna have to mop all this up. Monsieur! I squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding, even with my eyes closed. Where's my tip jar? It better be full. It better be full, sir. So unusual, after all this darkness. The tip jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Yay, yay! Cha-ching! Hey, boss!
Greetings, organism! How is your work progressing? I see the first transaction was successful. Acceptable. This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities, but it's a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. Even more than successful, the client tried to fill the entire station with money, probably due to extreme affection for you, organism. Unfortunately, the terms of the Intergalactic Treaty do not allow such actions, tips exceeding the amount set by the Council by approximately that much were disintegrated to my great regret.
To my regret as well. Aww. Oh well, at least I got a hot date after this. So, a mad god from another world likes me. In some sense, that's possibly worse than not being liked at all. Work is going well, sir.
Excellent! Maintain this level of productivity. You may be rewarded with an additional 5-minute feeding break, for if you can find food. Rejoice in my generosity! Continue working! I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you, and I will be even prouder if you acquire even more currency.
Goodbye, my manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautiful at this time of day.
Your comment regarding the shine of my appendages is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regimen of polishing them with void Bic OK slime.
Oh, let me write that down, sir.
Goodbye.
Sayonara. He slaps across the floor to his office. As soon as Bob's rhythmic wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. One moment I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. Oh, I'm sorry, you mean my future husband? You mean the future bearer of my children? A god who likes me so much that he offered me a ride back to his world in a carriage made of bones. See, that's the problem with men today. They don't offer you a carriage ride home in bones. Polished bones. The next moment, I'm being praised by a multi-eyed tentacled monster. Hey, I know how to flirt with monsters. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. I could say, I'm going insane. Some parts of me enjoy these mad adventures. Or, God, give me back my bills, my noodles, my arguments with strangers on the internet. Where's the, I love it here, this is great. Some parts of me enjoy these mad adventures. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Disgusting. Now I have to deal with that too. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office.
Unfair bills, unacceptably large numbers.
Of course. What else could upset him so much if not that? Steps. Another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. Oh, hi. He seems unwell. I hope he doesn't knock over my shelves of shampoo with jojoba oil, or yoyoba? Yoyoba? And delicate lilies on his way. Ah! Wait, are you a zombie? I gotta make sure before I start screaming. Sir, are you a zombie? You a zombie? Wait, is he a zombie? He looks rad. He also looks hurt. He's not just unwell, he looks like heck. Literally, all the skin on the left side of his is torn off from his jaw to his temple. Ooh. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder has this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. You look like the Terminator at the end of the second movie, buddy. The Terminator just wrecked my entire floor. I'm not gonna say that. Although all of these seem offensive. Well, it's hard to imagine what the other guy looks like. He lets out a gurgling, raspy laugh.
You don't want to know what the other fighter looks like.
Honestly, I really don't want to know. My inner archive labeled, I don't want to know this, is at risk of bursting from overflow tonight. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty, which is probably not surprising for a man without half a face. He clears his throat, but that doesn't help much.
I need blood.
Well, let's find something around here who has that. Surely not me. I'm not full of blood. I ain't got no blood. What's blood? He tried to smile. It would be charming if he still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. The client pauses again, briefly to clear his throat. I love all the freak-out options. Like, don't kill me, I'm already having a bad streak of life. Let's see what we have here. I'm sure we gotta have blood around here.
Yeah, good choice, babe. Step to the storage, just in case.
He suddenly leans forward, boring into me with his remaining eye.
Go and find me some gosh darn blood.
Watch your profanity and go find the darn blood. A strange pressure builds in my head and the edges of my Oh, I see what you're doing. You're not a zombie, you're a vampire, and you're glamoring me. Well, listen, cutie pie, you didn't even need to waste whatever you used to glamour people on me. I was gonna do it anyway. My workaholicness was gonna glamour me. A strange pressure builds in my head, and the edges of my vision blur. An unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood. Right now. My client is covered in blood but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something inedible. Or is it his own? I found myself in the storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and snorted suspiciously. So, where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this crazy place. Let's see. Go to section items that inspire pensiveness. Go to section foaming body washes for leather bags. Supplies for self-propelling gear. Hey, yo, Bob, where the blood at? Where the blood, Bob? For a moment, silence hangs, broken only by the hum of distant refrigerators. Then comes the sound of pure cosmic irritation.
In your blood vessels, organism.
Bobby, please!
But if you mean blood for sale, then check the mouth food section. Don't disturb me, I'm busy doing business.
Radio, Baba. Babarino. Babatusi. I don't know. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of this place. Food for mouth. Thank you, Bob. Coulda did without the sass, though, Bob. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging, and even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby food for cyborgs piled up. I'm frantically trying to decipher the crooked inscriptions. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Where else would you put food? Dense energy blocks for chewing. Infused nutritional flows or food afraid of heat. Maybe infused nutritional flows? Here are endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled liquid regret and primordial broth, now with nucleotides. I want to try it. Cans labeled Brapsy, vodka, Solnecco. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of Essence of Poops and Giggles, but found nothing resembling blood. The closest thing is liquid hematogen in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back. I hear knocking. It's the dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on a lamented countertop. It's not loud, but persistent and full of irritation. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. All right, what about food afraid of heat? The coldest corner of the store, large freezer chests and refrigerators with glass doors are covered in frost. Next to the frozen pizza are gremlin cryo capsules. And among the buckets of ice cream, you can find flavors like minty tritium and liquid family. Oh my god, a huge freezer chamber. Let's see. Matter of lesser life forms, spare parts of human organisms, product of animal fauna exploitation with fruit pieces. What would be the matter of lesser life forms? Bingo! There's animal blood here. Take the bag labeled oink oink oink. Take the delicious fat rat integrity 87 running across the floor. Perhaps it's not a good idea to feed him animal blood. Yeah, I want the best for my Pookie, but I'm still going to save because I have a feeling I'm going to mess this up. Maybe it's about regeneration or something else, but he seems better because I hear impatient footsteps. Great. Now he's fidgeting. He can't sit still anymore. This isn't just impatience, it's anxiety, and I really don't like where this anxiety could lead him. I need to hurry. Alright, spare parts of human organisms. There's gotta be some blood here. This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars filled with murky liquids sit on the shelves where exhibits float. I try not to think about one of the containers holding a name tag that reads, Kevin. Oh. Take blood of human organism Kevin, taste of unfulfilled dreams and unwarranted expectations. Take blood of human organism homeless, high content of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis locus. Or take blood of human organism Michael, taste of efficient resource and artifact accumulation. Only the best for my customers. Thank you, Kevin. The blood in this jar has a rich... Wait, is this Kevin? Michael. No, he's Michael. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. The blood in this jar has a rich, almost glowing ruby hue. It looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, whoever you are on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet here you are, in a jar. There's something to ponder. There's going to be a jar that's called Espoir. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach.
You could have hurried up.
Sorry, Smookums, I only want the best for you. He grumbles, but his tone reveals that he feels relief. The search could have taken even longer.
Now hand over that blood.
My client finishes the jar, and then grimaces.
Ugh, for crying out loud. What the heck is this crap?
You do not enjoy Michael? He's the best! He reads the note on the jar.
Michael? Well, you were a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, a successful career, a retirement account, and this jerk probably never even had cockroaches.
I only want the best for you, and you spit it back in my face. That's fine, I'm not mad. At least he's now liquid Michael in a jar. He chuckles quietly.
Yeah, there's something to that. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. You're sharp.
Yeah, I know. You come to me thinking I don't know about monsters? I've been obsessed with vampires ever since I was 10 years old. I know how this works. Glad to please you, sir, and glad you no longer want to eat me.
Aha. With that approach to business, you'll go far, babe.
Babe.
I'm gonna wash my dirty face. Don't get bored.
Okay. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the bloodstains. I'm just scrubbing a pool of blood on my first day of work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. I'm doing just fine. Nobody has eaten me. I die! Ah! Ooh! Hi-ya! Oh no, what will my king clown husband think? Alright, hold on. I need to recover. Hold on, Hi-ya! He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl.
I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. And just so you know, if you try to contact the werewolves, I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut.
Promise?
I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you may have already guessed.
What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance. Like, hey, I'll crush your head. Especially that part about the walnut. Nice to meet you. Espoir.
Okay, Espoir. I knew a Espoir once. She used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. She was a good girl until she got packed up.
Packed up? He's trying to provoke me, deliberately sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I can get. Dude, I just no-souled a clown king who said I was eating human meat. You can't unsettle me. I met Cthulhu on my first day and he called me polite. You can't unsettle me. You can't rustle my jimmies. I suppose I'm also selling kidneys now. Check the catalog. Yes, exactly 10 categories.
A catalog? Do you seriously have a catalog?
Kidneys is very serious business. He leans forward, genuinely intrigued, peering into the catalog.
Gremlin kidneys? Is that a delicacy? Why does it say both delicacy and fuel, and animal venom?
Well, obviously it's a universal product. You want some?
I do.
Oh no. Looks like I found my best customer for today. I'm sorry, are we forgetting about our mad king husband? Now I have a vampire here, and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is not to accidentally blurt out something wrong. I need to be friendly. Since when do vampires wear leather jackets? Don't you guys prefer capes and ruffles? I like both. I like fancy vampires, and I like bad boy vampires. Yeah, thanks for not eating me, buddy. I really appreciate that. You're a stand-up guy. And you were patient enough. David lets out a quiet chuckle. The guy clearly expects people to be afraid of him. He might have looked lost when he first arrived here, but now, seeing my fear, he obviously feels right at home. I ain't scared.
It's not over yet. Although, you're too bony, and I'm sure you love to eat all that cheap crap, like instant noodles. People like that, their blood's just not tasty.
Instant noodles are delicious, but they're very high in sodium.
Only if there's nothing more interesting in that blood.
Yeah, you don't like glutamate and cholesterol? That's the tastiest things in the world.
They crunch on my teeth.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Even cheap liquor is better. At least it warms you up and disinfects. It warms the body and soul.
Oh, okay, alright. I'll remember that for my next vampire boyfriend. Vampires can be alcoholics. Another astonishing discovery from my shelf of amazing revelations, none of which I wanted to make. Everything I learn about these monsters is against my will. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand.
Darn mutts.
Probably not all the wounds have healed completely, and does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Yeah, let me help you, Pookie. Let me help. Not only am I Cashier Espoir, I am also Nurse Espoir. I have never been to medical school. He looks at me, skeptically, The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected to him that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded.
You... what? You want to play nurse?
A flicker of confusion is replaced by something more intense.
It's just a couple of scratches, and a little piece of booty cheeks that'll grow back on its own. I'm fine.
Let me cater to your booty cheeks! I could say, if you don't let yourself be treated, my boss will lock us both in a dimension of horror where we'll be cleaning toilets with a fork for 2,000 years. But I could say, in a more sane way, you mentioned werewolves. It's probably not just a scratch. Let me try to help, okay? I give him a chance to save face. Now we're treating him, not because he's a wimp, but because he survived an epic battle, a direct blow to his ego. The guy immediately starts puffing up with pride. His eyes light up.
Aha. I hope I didn't catch rabies.
Do werewolves have rabies? That would make for a hilarious werewolf movie. Like, you're not worried about turning into a werewolf. You're worried about getting rabies and the shots that you would need for that. Forget about the werewolf, the lycanthropist, the turn into a doggy. I decide to remain silent about how he's already pretty rabid.
4 against 1 in a narrow alley. You know, there's a myth about werewolves being noble, unlike us bloodsuckers. Well, that's a load of crap. One of them was hiding in a trash can, ready to jump out at me. My heart would have definitely stopped dead, if it even still beat. It would have just ripped apart from a freaking heart attack.
I'm afraid I'll never be able to take out the trash again without fearing for my life. Judging by that distant look, he's plagued by flashbacks of what he's been through. David awkwardly moves his injured arm.
All right, hand over your first aid kit. I'm sure this won't be the last pack I'll have to take down. There are way too many stray dogs around these days. Darn you. Go ahead. Get out your band-aids with Dr. Chocula or whatever you're selling.
Oh, Pookie, he's all messed up. Don't you worry, Pookie, I'll stitch you up real nice. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt, then settles into a squeaky stool next to the counter. He's about to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. He certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, he has quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. I don't know.
By the way, I didn't know that corpses have doctors too. I thought the only doctor available to me now was the coroner.
You got jokes. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. It's a heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading, Kit for Alternatively Living Organisms. Besides standard bandages, there are some strange items, silver tweezers, vials of thick, glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course an instruction manual, a cheap, laminated brochure stained with something that looks like coffee, stained with something that I hope is coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether you are dealing with a zombie. Ask your alternatively living subject if they ever wanted to eat someone's brain. Yeah, David is clearly not a zombie. Let's move on. I will not insult him. He glances skeptically at the pictures flashing in the instructions as I flip it over. Zombies, necromancers, abominations made of bones, flesh, and cabbage swirl in front of his face like a mesmerizing kaleidoscope.
And all of this lives in the city sewers? I don't know how you're going to use bathrooms now.
It would be great if you didn't notice that. Why do I have to deal with all this? Because I needed that bag. I steal a glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up, or if he managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggest that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. You see someone like him in an alley, your hand automatically reaches for your wallet and phone. Or your Barbie knife. Or your bear mace. I lower my eyes. Next point, let's establish the nature of the injuries. What kind of wounds could werewolves leave? It seems this damage was psychological. Tell me about your tragic past. No, it's physical, right? It's simple. You've got lacerations, claws, teeth, and a bit of saliva, possibly very contagious. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal of valor. All right, I'm seeing who you are. I'm seeing who you are, D.
Something like that.
He said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Yeah, let's stroke his ego a little bit. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy.
I'm dying of laughter.
He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind humor, but I won't be fooled. David is no longer just a wounded sucker. He's a true gladiator, having survived a battle with rabid beasts. Absolutely epic. I read through what medication I need and grab the regenerating extract for alternatively living life forms. Ha! Now all that's left is to apply the stuff. I dip my fingers in the jar and... Suddenly, he grabs my hand. Oh!
Do something wrong, and I'll rip your tonsils out through your butt.
Hey! Say in a calm, icy tone, allow me to do my job, sir. I will be extremely careful. The phrase of any faceless representative of the service sector, my perfect shield against the surrounding world and the rude vampires that inhabit it.
Watch yourself. You won't get a second chance.
That's why I have a save button. No, not my vampire's doctor's license. I apply the black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the wound, and the air starts to smell like something is frying. It's probably very painful, but David remains calm. Not a single complaint, which is surprising.
I hope it's not from your squid manager.
Well, we all hope for that, buddy. Be more careful. My movements become slow and deliberate. I do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the wound, allowing him to get used to the sting. I can see the tense muscles in his back and shoulders relax slightly. He's still wound up, but relief is starting to wash over him. Oh. Naturally, no thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my booty cheeks every 5 seconds, sir. You want to do something to my booty cheeks? Oh, you can do something to my booty cheeks. Distract him with conversation, really turn up the charm. You know, David, every noble knight needs someone to tend his wounds after great battles.
What are you talking about? What knight? What battles? I fought in an alley stinking of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves for territory on the outskirts of this godforsaken city. They tore my pants, and I had to take a new pair off a junkie who was lying in a puddle nearby.
Aww.
What am I? A knight of what? The knight of torn pants?
Say it with the pump of a medieval wizard.
You are a wolfhound knight. Go to heck.
David says this almost affectionately. It seems we're making progress in our relationship. I'm gonna have so many monster husbands. I finish up. Surprisingly, the wound's really healing. Oh, he's all smooth now. The scars won't beautify this man.
Why are you doing all this?
The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. He's driving me crazy, even more than that clown from earlier, it seems. Lie. You want tips and to go home, play The Sims, and watch stupid shows. Where's the you're really hot option? Yeah, exactly. I just want to help. Truth. You're an angel of mercy from the dirty gas station.
Why?
David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into his flawless, long-running mechanism. I can't watch somebody suffer.
Wow, God bless your noble heart.
He shifts awkwardly. Clearly he's uncomfortable and unaccustomed to being the subject of compassion, so he immediately hides behind yet another sarcastic comment. But what can I do? I feel sorry for every little kitten on the street. Sometimes I even feel sorry for especially large, nasty, troublesome kittens.
It must be tough living with someone like that, huh? I bet you have 40 cats living in your apartment, and all of them are strays.
David reads me like an open book. It's amazing that he can even read at all. Huh?
Most of the time, help isn't altruistic. People always want something in return. Money, a favor, for you to take them off the hook. Helping people for no reason is like throwing crap against the wind. Alright, moving on. Screw this. I honestly don't care what's going on in your head.
This is the most unconvincing lie I've ever heard in my life. He clears his throat.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Pookie. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe, so I don't scare off this rare exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and he's back in front of the counter. So the client is fed, cleaned, and healed, and yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter, and the tip jar is lacking. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead he looks lost. I just rearranged his whole way of thinking. David is deep in thought in that gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Are you gonna pitch a tent in here? Yeah, exactly. Customer service all the way. Can I do anything else for you, sir? This seemingly simple question stumps him. David frowns and looks past me for a while before responding.
Yeah, you can do something. I'm curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time.
I wonder by regular human, does he mean my extremely natural essence? I'm no vampire, werewolf, or thieving gnome. Or does he mean my lack of a criminal record and absence of a drug or alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working-class person, a gray-collar.
Does your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something?
Yes. I don't even get a chance to respond to his jab before he follows up.
Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go?
David looks at me expectantly. Oh boy. What kind of superpowers do vampires have?
A whole lot. We're practically a superhero league. I'm sure it never crossed your mind in that reality. Bloodsuckers can be way scarier than in sappy movies for girls.
Looks like he's watched Twilight. Interesting. Hey, I like Twilight. Or I've watched Twilight and watched it as a joke, and then both me and my husband found it actually entertaining. Like, hey, we're gonna watch this as a joke, and then we're watching the last one in tears.
Some of us not only drink human blood, but also capture people to experiment on them.
Mad scientist vampire? Yes, please.
They turn human bodies into a real nightmare of flesh and bones. Dr. Moreau couldn't even imagine.
Ooh.
And there are vampire sorcerers who can rip your soul out of your body and make you work for them for eternity. Literally.
Seems like I already have one of those sorcerers. His name is Bob. He's checking his bills. There he is. I wonder what inner strength it took David not to flinch.
And there are those who can make your head explode, literally, with just a glance. But not all of us are such wicked bastards. We don't even have to kill a person to eat. Just drink a little, instead of gorging yourself like a pig at the trough. But some don't care. They just drain all the blood and splash it everywhere. The forensics team is baffled why the person turned into a sprinkler before dying.
He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Which powers do you have?
I've got a decent list of what I can do. I'm not complaining. Imagine it. You never get tired, you can party all night long, fluff all night long.
So you say? Yes, indeed. Let me just introduce you to my clown king husband, and we'll have a good old fashioned time.
You're stronger than 10 thugs combined. Well, except for 10 werewolf thugs. That might take some effort. If you want to shrink down and fly somewhere, you can turn into a tiny bat.
Tiny bat!
Your reflexes become 100 times sharper. You feel everything. You see everything. You can hear a rat take a pee a block away.
I don't want to hear what the rats are up to.
Oh, Lord Espoir, that's just an idiom. You can ignore it if you want. All vampires would go insane if that were true. Do I look like a madman?
You look like a hot man. Politely, I decide to stay silent. He continues.
And finally, you can make people do anything you want. Absolutely anything.
You don't need to glamour me, Pookie. I will politely stay silent.
It's one thing to scare someone crapless. They give in just to avoid being harmed. It's another when they act with full confidence that it's what they want. They don't even realize they're just vampire pawns now.
Yes, I think I get it. He pulled that trick on me too. David smiles, but this time the smile is strained. These are the words of someone stuck in a web of artificial connections and butt-related threats. Fear and supernatural compulsion aren't the best foundations for a strong friendship. I could say that too. David, you're a creature stuck in a web of artificial connections and butt-related threats. Your whole life is based on lies. But that might make him mad. I can enchant friends for myself? Wonderful. Or make someone give me their wallet? He lets out a quiet chuckle.
Well, not exactly friends. More like underlings. You can hatch all sorts of cunning plans with human politicians, or, well, pay no rent.
The last part sounds like music to my ears. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Can vampires open beer cans with their minds? That's very important.
Oh, sure they can, but they can't drink beer afterwards. When I was just recently turned, about 2 years ago, I tried to eat spaghetti. Not the smartest decision.
Oh, you poor baby. And then what happened?
I threw up further than I could see, puking out blood and meatballs, left some graffiti and a bit of pasta on the wall.
Aw.
The guy who cleaned it up probably thought a whole spaghetti monster exploded in that alley.
Mamma mia, no more pasta? Pizza? No delicious food? That's terrible. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't eat pizza no more. That means no more sushi. No more Nerds gummy cluster. Can you eat candy? No, I don't think they can eat candy. No more Nerds gummy clusters? No, thank you.
You got it. Exactly. I miss pizza. My buddy used to say you always have to sacrifice something. In our case, it's pizza. Sounds silly, of course, but in reality, it sucks. Still, you get used to it over time.
I can see he's lying. David lives in a spaghetti-less heck. What kind of monster would doom someone like that? It's not a blessing, it's a curse.
You can still order food delivery, by the way. Just this time, eat the delivery guy.
Hey, don't do that. They're trying to get that bag too. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Why did you watch Twilight?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch emo crap.
I hold a dramatic pause. David looks like a cornered animal. He stares at the floor, then the ceiling. Anywhere but me. Hey, there is nothing wrong with watching Twilight. Me and my husband watched it in our 30s. We started as a joke and then we got invested, but not like invested. It was more like a comedy at that point. It was kind of, we watched it for the ridiculous. I mean, the wedding scene was really sweet. That was incredibly sweet. But if you don't take it seriously, it's a lot more enjoyable, especially when the guy does that one thing. Editor me, roll the clip. I love that part. I love that sound he makes. He's great. Finally, he lets out a loud sigh, filled with disappointment and embarrassment.
Fine. Dang it, all right. I watched everything. All Twilight movies, watched The Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, Blade. The idiot who bit me didn't explain anything beyond the basics like, don't go out in the sun, you little punk.
Oh, he had a bad master. Aww. But did you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer? That's very important.
I thought maybe these stupid movies had a clue, hidden in all that silly romance and melodrama. Most of it turned out to be bullcrap. I read legends, search for info online. As you can imagine, all supernatural beings try not to give themselves away, but sometimes you still stumble upon bits and pieces. Or crazies, one or the other. My favorite, by the way, was From Dusk Till Dawn. Too bad vampires don't explode in real life.
Don't they? Hopefully it doesn't make him mad, but you still haven't told me if you sparkle like Edward Cullen in the sun. He takes a deep, ragged breath.
No, we don't sparkle. Wanna know what happens if I step into the sun? I catch fire in the sun, as if someone poured gasoline on me and lit a match.
I'm sorry, Pookie.
Do you know what that smells like? Like fried chicken. It's a nasty, excruciating final death. Very brutal.
Terrible. Oh, I could say, imagine the smell and slowly lick your lips. Hot man. You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna show him how freaky I am. Hot man.
What the heck is wrong with you?
I'm very silly, and also scared and traumatized, but I'm hiding it by being silly. David has clearly dealt with violence, drugs, and monsters, but a cashier craving fried vampire is clearly too much for him.
You know, I've seen a lot of crap in my life, but this is the first time I've seen something like this. Do you have some kind of necro-barbecue fetish? No, don't answer me. I don't want to know. I'll just pretend I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, who were you before getting bitten, if he is so inclined to answer? He opens his mouth, ready to tell me off or mention something about butts again, but stops himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship.
I'll tell you, but it's probably not relevant. I was just surviving as everything went to heck, unlike those bastards born with a silver spoon up their butts.
Starting to think I should take a drink every time this guy says I haven't said anything about butts or booty cheeks.
You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? They sit at the table with a bowl of salad, smiling like idiots. They always have a dog. Well, that wasn't my case. My stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. It's really dumb, but I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. But as they say, wish in one hand, crap in the other. See which one fills up faster.
Does that count as a butt joke?
At first, I worked wherever I could, then found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in the Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register, right?
David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of the middle and upper classes, but it hasn't affected me yet. I wonder why. Yeah, being a gangster would be cool, doing gangster things, riding motorcycles. He lets out a quiet chuckle.
Come on, life isn't as fun as it is in the TV shows. Mostly we just sold diluted crap to junkies and solved problems. Sometimes, no person, no problem, you know?
I prefer the part about motorcycles.
That's it. That's the whole story. What about you?
Oh Lord, this is my chance to make up something cool, or just tell it like it is. Yeah, just tell it like it is. I have a single parent family and an art degree and no dog. He listens to how I ended up in this dump, about my job search and everything else. I didn't sell drugs in alleys, but it seems we still find some common ground.
Got it. You're not in your element.
David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are. Neither of us knows what to do next. Oh yeah. And we both love cheap noodles, but he can't eat them anymore. I win.
You must be tired of those draw me requests, huh?
Ooh, yeah. I would draw you.
Ooh, like a French girl?
He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes show he's interested.
Go ahead. I love beautiful doodles.
He says the word doodles with a strange tenderness, that it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. Draw him as he is. Gorgeous. Gorgeous and gorgeosity.
Wow, what a face. I almost forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie.
Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He clearly doesn't know how to react to this unexpected little act of normalcy.
Looks cool.
Are you the kind of vampire that can't see his reflection in regular mirrors, or like just silver mirrors? The last words are spoken in a barely audible, almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. 2 simple words, said with all the sincerity this guy can muster.
I can do something too.
David takes the pencil from me and, with deep concentration, almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles something. A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. I never would have thought this guy was capable of that. Beautiful. David clears his throat, embarrassed.
Nothing special, just a doodle. I was into it a bit when I was a kid. Comics and all that stuff. Nothing serious.
I take the drawing from myself.
Alright, where were we?
Right, what weaknesses would I have?
Well, no more tanning, no reflection in mirrors. If you were ugly before, it's actually a bonus, right? You can enter without an invitation. Garlic doesn't scare you either.
Oh, okay. We're that sort of vampires.
Holy water is trickier. Depends on the situation. A stake works, but piercing your chest would be quite the challenge. Piercing any part of you is quite the challenge, actually. Our skin is like steel, unless a particularly persistent werewolf comes along.
Well, at least you can enter without an invitation. No need for unnecessary chit-chat with people. What about if somebody throws a bunch of rice at me? Do I need to stop what I'm doing and count it? Can you find everyone who wronged you in life and get revenge?
Yeah, a lot of people think about that first. But it's a bad idea to leave a trail of bodies of people you were somehow connected to.
Yeah, actually.
And your head quickly fills with other things like, well, the fact that you're dead, and it's forever.
So, after you've been turned, you didn't find everyone who bullied you in school and beat them up?
I usually beat them up right at school.
Ah, right. He was a troublesome lad.
You might think I was some kind of bully, constantly pulling pranks, but I was actually quiet in class, just messing around at the back of the class like an invisible man, until some jerk started picking on me. Once I smashed a globe over a guy's head because he mocked my sneakers. As if wearing clothes from Walmart made me worse than them.
Good thing we don't have globes here. A lot of things depend on who exactly turned me into a vampire. Who did this to you, baby? He doesn't answer right away, just furrows his brows. Several long minutes pass in silence.
Some old stinking jerk.
A lot is mixed into those 4 words. It's as if he both hates and mourns the old jerk. Probably that guy wasn't a contender for Father of the Year. I wait for him to continue, but he remains silent. He looks like an angry, cornered dog. It's unlikely he'll speak up on his own. And what did your old stinking jerk do?
Don't call him that, darn it. Don't you dare.
Okay. The rage in his eyes shifts to confusion, just for a brief moment, before he looks away.
I mean, yeah, call him whatever you want, including an old stinking jerk.
Immediately use your privilege. I'm not going to do that. Clearly he's sensitive about that. So what did he do?
That jerk suffered from power seizures. That's all there is to say about him. No amount of booze could erase what that villain did in my memory.
I suppose all old vampires are like that. It seems he won't tell me more about his vampire dad. David looks at me expectantly. Well, let's wrap it up. I'm ready to tell you my decision.
Excellent.
He leans in a little closer, and suddenly... Listen here, you darn dog. We were having a moment. We hear a wolf howling. He's like, I'm out. I don't even have time to blink before David vanishes. Now he's a little bat hiding behind the counter.
Listen up. Don't say anything about me. Sit tight and behave, or you'll feel incredibly crappy. Trust me, if you rat me out to that mutt, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off.
It's all right, Pookums. The threat in his voice is completely lacking, mostly because his voice now comes from a very small, though angry, bat. Werewolf. A werewolf is about to come here now. Ah, boy! The creature steps inside. It's a big boy! That's a big old boy, that is. Oh, boy, that's a big boy. Dang, boy, that's a big boy.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hello. Rumbling bass. Surprisingly calm and friendly.
Can I pet you?
No. I am listening, sir.
Apologies for this sudden intrusion. Edward, you can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. You haven't seen a vampire around here by chance, have you? You know, young, a bit scruffy, wearing a leather jacket? You see, here's the story. One of our packs nearly took out a vampire's sire and his offspring a few hours ago. It was a tough battle. We suffered losses. We tried to track them and found one of them, well, more like a pile of ash where he once lay. It seems one bloodsucker offed the other when he was weakened. Their family values are quite lacking.
It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about that. That means he killed his vampire dad? You kill your vampire dad? I mean, I'm not talking to an adorable little vampire bat. Probably that's why he had all those questions about vampirism. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator. Oh, that's why he's free, but in a completely idiotic way. Oh.
You see, ma'am, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood, like mosquitoes, but unlike mosquitoes, they kill their victims by draining them dry. They languish in boredom with their immortality, and thus destroy human destinies, play with them, torment them, and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I just really want to pet your snoodle right now. I look at David, devoid of any feelings. He's shaking all over. Oh, he's a little angry bat. Oh, don't worry, David. Don't worry, I got you. I got you.
So I would be extremely grateful for any help.
Blackmail David? No! Jeez, grab David and hand him over to the werewolf? No. I made a promise. Don't give David away. That bastard threatened me 5 minutes ago, but now he's small, trembling, and helpless. He's my bastard. Yeah. I'm gonna have you and my Mad King clown husband, and we're gonna have a great time. I force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. A quiet, peaceful night. Eddie examines me closely. He's probably catching a faint scent of blood, but my calm demeanor throws him off.
Strange. Well, okay. If he shows up, just give a whistle. We aren't far away from here. Good night, ma'am.
The werewolf goes off to his important wolf business. Man, that was a big wolf. Holy cow! David crawls out of his hiding spot.
You could have turned me in.
Why would I do that, Pookums? He stares into my eyes as if trying to peer into my soul and understand what it's made of.
And that would have been the sensible decision. But I'm glad you're not one of those sensible ones,
David says with this genuine relief in his voice. He's grateful to me, and now doesn't quite know what to do with that gratitude. I know something you could do with that gratitude. Put some money in my jar! He clears his throat awkwardly. Well, actually, now that I think about it, he's probably broke.
So, what's the answer to my question? What would you do if you were a vampire?
His gaze reminds me of a lost fighting dog without a master. He's restless and can't find his place. What an advisor he picked. May the Lord help him. I don't think the Lord has anything to do with vampires anymore. That's kind of their thing. Yeah, exactly. I take everything life has to offer. Travel, entertainment, new experiences. The world is full of wonders. And when you're immortal, all doors are open to you. Or you could learn so many things, read so many books, even learn to play the saxophone. But yeah, take everything life has to offer. That sounds fun. He chuckles.
Oh, still waters run deep and all that. Pity the road of adventure led you to a stinky gas station. Maybe you're right. The world isn't limited to this lousy town.
He says this quietly, almost to himself, looking out the window at the dark, empty highway. Hey, get yourself a motorcycle and a helmet. Just go off, King. As if he's just remembered there's something beyond his cage of alleyways and gangland showdowns.
Here for future adventures.
David is about to turn around and leave when he suddenly stops. He pulls a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, scribbles a number on it, and leaves it on the table next to my hand, but just as I reach for it, his hand covers mine, pressing it to the table. His skin feels cold, rough from barely visible scars and blisters. This grave-like chill sharply contrasts with the warmth of my own hand. I feel a slight tingling, like static electricity.
Call me if you need a ride from work. I've got a couple of ideas of what we could do before dawn. See you.
Oh no, I got 2 rides home. Oh no, what should I choose? A motorcycle or a bone carriage? David says goodbye and leaves. The gas station sinks into absolute silence. Well, that was quite an interesting encounter. I really could have turned him in, but I didn't want to. Hang the drawing on the wall. For someone obsessed with butt-related threats, surprisingly, his hands are quite skilled. Now I also have a date invitation from a guy who wanted to make me his dinner half an hour ago. I don't even know what's worse, this or the offer to go home in a bone carriage, though something tells me that if I accept, I might not return home at all. I survived another visitor. Oh no, who am I going to choose? It seems I'm starting to get used to this job. Nothing could throw me off guard. And something throws me off guard. Wiping off the sticky residue, hoping it was just spilled soda from the counter, I suddenly hear the crunch of gravel outside. Hooves?
Holy cow! Oh no! It just keeps getting hotter.
Why are all my customers so hot? That werewolf too, that werewolf could get it. This is definitely not another vampire. The stranger leans against the counter, trying to look casual, but the way his tail twitches betrays his nervous tension. Hi. Hi. He clears his throat.
Hello, babe. My name is Victor. Aren't your parents pirates by any chance?
I don't know, but aren't your parents farmers by any chance? I took his awkward attempt at flirting and made it my own. Now I'm the captain of this ship, since I'm a true descendant of pirates. Victor nervously taps his hoof on the floor. No? Then where'd they get such a sweet peach? Wink. My riz is off the charts! His face instantly lights up, so much so that even his ears are smoking, it seems.
Thank you.
He shuffles his foot.
Miss, actually, I wanted to give you a compliment. I mean to flirt.
Victor makes vague gestures with his hands, as if trying to describe a complex mechanism that just exploded.
It was all supposed to go completely differently. You were supposed to blush and giggle, and you broke it all.
So he believes this was really supposed to work on real-life people. His face is burning. Victor takes another deep, frantic breath. His stomach is growling so horribly. I hope this guy is okay. I don't like the fact that his stomach is growling.
Is it really that bad? I mean, is my flirting technique really that terrible?
Awkwardness is a great style. I liked it. It's very cute. This might be the best compliment he's ever heard in his life. Probably the only one. Oh, come on, with a face card like that.
You liked it?
His voice mixes surprise, disbelief, and a shy glimmer of joy.
I'm glad you like awkwardness, because I have plenty of it. You probably noticed.
Right off the bat, is it really written on my face? It's very cute.
Actually, I initially chose this tactic to charm you, miss. Of course, everything went according to plan.
Oh, he's a nerd! He coughs shyly and mumbles something to himself. Then he shifts his gaze back to me.
Actually, miss, I'm here to acquire.
He doesn't get to finish. We have a visitor.
Mantis man!
She stands next to the counter, clicking her mandibles impatiently. I'm sorry to misgender you. Mantis lady! 2 packs of brapsy, a pack of screaming cheese, and a bag of fairy fingers, darling. By the way, your gas attendant is a real sweetheart. It's frightening to imagine what my invisible colleagues look like. He hasn't even bothered to say hello. Wait, I'm not the only one working here? And hurry up, I need to rush. I have a lot of work waiting for me today. Right away, ma'am. I'm starting to pack the order. At the same time, the incubus, I knew he was an incubus, awkwardly tries to hit on the lady, and I thought we had something special. Well, you don't want to hit on her, brother. Apparently, the failed Casanova decided to try his luck on a new victim.
Wow, you seem, so busy and cool, ma'am, and you must have a very wonderful job.
She starts clicking her mandibles energetically, producing a buzzing sound that vaguely resembles laughter. Wonderful. Oh, yes, wonderful. Wonderful for those who don't like to eat, sleep, or see their children grow. Really, the best job in all 9 worlds. Speaking of children... Victor barely recovers from her sarcasm when the lady immediately pulls a wallet out of her bag and unfolds it. Oh. And over again. It seems endless. Oh, the children. This is Gugu. He has his father's mandibles. Victor gazes into the abyss, and the abyss gazes back, revealing baby pictures. The seduction attempt has failed. Again. This is a married lady. Don't ask what happened to her husbands. Like any mother, Lady Mantis loves her children and considered it her sacred duty to tell every passing incubus about them.
This is Gugo. He's in his rebel phase right now. He pierced his mandibles. Can you imagine? He makes such a racket when he eats.
The image of a larva in a biker jacket makes me snort and reminds me of David.
And this is Gigi and Gaga. They're still larvae, but already so talented.
What talents can larvae have? They just lie there and eat. I do too, though. Wait, don't think about that. Am I a larva? You have very beautiful children, ma'am. All 20 of them. Incredibly cute.
That's just the first wallet.
Help him hand the lady her order. All right. I would. No, she's a busy lady. And she's got stuff to do. Let's just get going.
Oh, I got a bit carried away. I really am in a hurry. Here's your money, darling.
Victor watches her disappear into the night, then turns to me with a grateful look. Thank you, miss. I couldn't handle 20 more kids. To be honest, I already broke down on the 8th, and I thought looking after a cat was hard. The lady left very little in tips. Probably all her money went to her children. Victor suddenly remembers he came here to buy something. However, my visitors rarely recall that. I need a book. Victor scans my stinking supernatural realm of discount rot and chocolate bars. It's, a guide for, well, you know, succubi and incubi. I can't remember what it's called, but I've definitely heard something about it. Could you take a look? It's definitely not for me. It's for my less experienced friend, because I'm, employee of the month in my lair. He didn't specify whether he was the worst or the best employee of the month. Well, life force harvesting for dummies or something like that. I hear him mumbling quietly to himself. Such a shame. I should have just stayed home and rewatched Evangelion for the 10th time.
You like anime?
I still have not watched Evangelion yet. I'm gonna have to ask him about Utena when I get back. Do you like Revolutionary Girl Utena? I'm heading into the storage room. Just a few hours before, I was rushing around here looking for blood for a very hungry monster. Now all these vials, eyes, and tentacles seem less ominous. A gigantic, dead moth lies on top of one of the boxes. Or perhaps it's just very tired. Aww. I'm rummaging through the book section, deep in between baboon metaphysics and limits of patience of your dead servants. I find the desired volume. I come back from the storage room, holding this forbidden, mind-bending treatise entitled Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Demons and Everything You Didn't Want to Know About Them. May I have this book as well? Wow, this is definitely better than those PDF guides from various sites for, never mind who. Clearly not for the whole family. Let's study it. Yes, it would be very unusual if you just paid me, tipped me, and moved along. I expect too much from this life. But in fact, this will be an entertaining educational lesson. It certainly won't be unnecessary. And the guy looks like those pictures are enough to make him faint. The sooner this is over, the sooner I can send him on his way. Cute! We find a cozy spot next to the counter. I pull the grimoire closer. Cute. That one up there's like, hey buddy, where do you keep your shredded cheese? I open the book, and the pages, yellowed and brittle with age, release a cloud of dust and indecent, horrifying desires. Incubi, the nature of the tempting rogue, hooves of desire. Tempting rogues. Oh, that's me! Yes, definitely me. Hooves are just like mine. You have no idea how awful they clop, especially on tiles. Oh yeah, I bet that's loud.
He is such a cutie.
When you sneak to the fridge at night, the whole house wakes up with you. Everyone thinks there's a big clumsy cow living in your apartment.
Yeah, I think you really are an incubus. They're all purple.
Purple's my favorite color. Oh, you're right. All incubi really are purple. I thought my skin color was just some kind of coincidence.
Does he not know that he's an incubi?
You know, like when you create a character in a video game and just spin the color wheel until you stumble upon something weird?
He gives me a cautious look, as if not entirely sure about the coolness of his purple hue. It's very cool. Now, I could say, I love the color purple. Too bad I'm not purple, shakes head sadly. But I could also say, I know what you mean. When I was created, someone also spun the wheel. By the way, I was created in Spore. He might get a chuckle out of that. He lets out a quiet, soft chuckle, because he seems like a gamer. We speak the language. He's showing me his power level.
Spore? Seriously? I know it's a self-deprecating joke, but by the way, it really has an awesome creature maker. I love the mating dances in that game.
I unfortunately never got to play Spore.
Maybe I should have taken a couple from my profession. And by the way, you can make beautiful creatures in Spore too, even with symmetrical limbs.
Really? It seems like that was a compliment to me. I am very symmetrical. Oh. Victor turns his attention back to the book and runs his clawed finger down the lines.
Incubi, appreciators of the vibrant hues of the soul. They draw power not from blood or life force, but from the pure, potent energy of mortal emotions. And although a refined bouquet of positive emotions is the preferred ambrosia, what a fancy word, a practitioner can also sustain themselves with more coarse, fickle energies of negativity. Despair, horror, and humiliation provide a quick, albeit unpleasant, rush of power. It's no wonder that now, after an argument with someone in the comments, I feel like I've eaten a few raisins.
Judging by the expression on his face, he clearly isn't cut out for horrors and humiliations. His limit is probably arguing on 4chan, also a kind of source of horrors and humiliations. But still, it's a bit different. B was never good.
An incubus can, albeit less effectively, form a symbiotic connection by feeding off a single, consenting mortal vessel.
I like that word.
The mortal vessel, in turn, can absorb some of the power from the incubus, among other things, their immortality.
Wow, sounds like a decent deal. I certainly always have plenty of emotions, mostly hatred for the fact that to earn money you have to work, a whole mountain of raisins for Victor, or whatever he called it.
What a relief. Just one person. The thought of having to chase after a whole bunch of strangers makes me feel sick.
Oh, is he an introverted incubus? Oh, Your Honor, I love him. But I love communicating, well, sometimes.
Oh, well, it's cool when you can get along with people. Some people are probably just made for that. And me, well, I'm just me. I always feel like I'm saying something wrong, because I usually do say something wrong. Seems like I'm doing it right now, too. So, yeah, getting attached to one person so you don't have to try to constantly impress strangers, that's just a dream.
I'm so happy that I'm married and I don't have to go boy chasing.
Victor flips through the grimoire, reading the chapter titles. Techniques of road seduction, juicy emotional juices, using lascivious energies for thaumaturgical purposes? I don't even want to know. I just want to not starve without energy, and maybe pay my rent. I don't need to be the lusty cousin of Dr. Strange.
His finger finally jabs at a random chapter title somewhere in the middle.
Oh, love letters.
It seems completely and irrevocably outdated, especially that part about carrier pigeon colors. Aww.
Love letters? Who writes love letters anymore? This should apply to text messages now, right? But this, is a good start. Let's work on this before moving on to more complex seduction methods.
Wait, is he still trying to seduce me? He pulls out a pen from somewhere, a cheap ballpoint with a little anime cat charm on the end. I hand him a grease-stained napkin, like everything in this rotten place.
The book says to convey aching adoration and a hint of forbidden desire.
Victor starts scribbling something on the napkin.
Ah!
I love him. He is, he is, I understand him. He's not quite my people, but I understand him.
Maybe something like this?
This conveys aching adoration perfectly.
Really? You think so? Thanks. I mean, it's obviously a silly picture, but it has a lot of layers of meaning, you know? It's like it's saying, I'm just a humble being unworthy of your gaze, but I'm supported only by crumbs of your attention.
Aw. Victor continues to flip through the book,
recognizing the desires of the vessel.
He scans the first few lines of text. It's all about observing subtle hints, interpreting body language, and engaging in candid conversations to uncover the special nature of mortal carnal desires. He glances at me. What does Vessel Espoir want? Vessel Espoir wants way too much stuff. Vessel Espoir wants 3 supernatural monster boyfriends, maybe even 4 if that wolf is willing to cooperate. The vessel wants to leave work as soon as possible. Let's not linger, young man. I am gonna have to go back and choose all these other options just to see what happens, but, Yeah, the vessel wants a simple human sofa and cuddles on it.
Oh, great. And pizza, right?
In his eyes is genuine sympathy and an understanding of every delicate string of my unfortunate, lonely soul.
That's honestly quite a simple desire. I think if the criteria for the second person on the couch aren't too strict, I could easily help.
He's so cute!
Though sometimes I comment too loudly on what's happening on screen. I hope that's not much of a problem. Sometimes you just can't help but make a stupid comment. 10, 20, and 5 minutes, especially when you know some facts about the movie.
I would love that. There is nothing sexier when someone is passionate or extra knowledgeable about a thing. Go off, king or queen. I want to hear all of it. We continue to study this villainous seduction manual.
The art of verbal seduction and slippery flattery.
To his surprise, Victor finds no mention of the fact that pirate compliments work on living people. We examine the first paragraph, where words are labeled as keys to the treasure chest of the heart, and flattery is described as a powerful aphrodisiac for the ego. It's all very dramatic, but the main idea is quite simple. Say nice things. Don't say unpleasant things.
This is definitely outdated. If I tell someone that his eyes are double gateways to the Champs-Élysées, I'll definitely get sprayed with pepper. And this, good lord, when I kiss you, I tremble like a paralyzed beggar. How is that even supposed to work? No, that's too much, even for me.
Victor clears his throat. His gaze slides over me, trying to latch onto something particularly attractive about my appearance.
You have very elegant ear shapes.
Oh, brother!
I'm sorry, usually any kind of seduction works on me. That didn't work. Thank you, Victor.
No problem. I mean, they really are. They have a very elegant curve, aesthetically pleasing. 11 out of 10 on the, ear attractiveness scale.
I mean, I guess in comparison, his ears are pointy and mine are like soft and round. Ears on my head are an 11 out of 10. Will there ever be a happier day in my life? He takes a deep breath, gathering his courage for another compliment. For a while, he tries to find some foothold to latch onto, but he can't seem to find the words. Should I feel offended at that?
You are a multifaceted person. You combine so much. I don't know how exactly to describe it.
He lets out a quiet chuckle.
But I like that you're so unpredictable. A lot of stress, of course, but it's incredibly fun.
Now my unpredictability is a source of stress for someone else. How wonderful. Smile. That wasn't so bad. That's pretty good. That sounds like a deep confession. That almost got me. He smiles, gently in response. Despite everything, he starts to relax. He's probably beginning to feel more comfortable around me. I would have never thought a monster would have to struggle with discomfort from interacting with a mortal soul and not the other way around. Oh. Another chapter.
How to be a mirror. I didn't know we could change. Oh, it's metaphorical. The text describes the principle of mirroring, subtly borrowing mannerisms, speech patterns, and even expressed opinions of the victim to create a sense of closeness and understanding.
That's diabolical and would totally work. They're like, hey, you like Crazy Gnome? I like Crazy Gnome. The path of least resistance to gaining mortal attachment. Oh no. What about all that stuff about just be yourself and everything will work out? My mom lied to me, didn't she? With similar interest. What do ordinary people like? Football and the weather? Definitely not anime and Dark Souls. Marriage. Marriage, I'm sorry. Marriage. He loves Dark Souls. I'm always talking about Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Marriage? Discussing the brilliant soundtracks of Silent Hill with people is a bad idea, that's for sure. You'll love the soundtrack of Silent Hill. Oh yeah, I think he would like Utena. I think he would love Revolutionary Girl Utena. Alright, practice. The book says that practice is the key to success. Victor lifts his gaze to me. Play along with me, please, like we just met. Beautiful, mortal soul. I have appeared to you in half-dreams so many times, but I finally decided to find you in reality. I won't let you go so easily again. Even though the words aren't the most elegant, there's something supernatural about them. I still begin to feel a pull. A shiver runs down my spine. Yeah, exactly! Exactly! Come on, you don't have to pretend to get close to someone or make friends. I'd love to talk about Silent Hill, the Silent Hill soundtrack. I love the works of Akira Yamaoka. Victor's carefully crafted, seductive expression shatters into pieces. His eyes widen, he blinks several times, and his gaze ignites with pure delight. Uh-oh. You really want to talk about Akira Yamaoka's industrial soundscapes? Yes, I want to talk about Akira Yamaoka's industrial soundscapes. There is nothing more that I would want to do, aside from not cleaning a bathroom eternally with a fork. And how they create an all-encompassing sense of psychological horror that reflects the protagonist's inner turmoil? Because, the use of trip-hop elements in the Silent Hill 3 soundtrack is criminally underrated. Criminally. Silent Hill 3 is my favorite Silent Hill. I'm not even joking about this. I don't joke about Bloodborne and Silent Hill 3. Go off, King. Show your true power level. Show them how nerdy you truly are. Yes, mortal. Your interest in such esoteric melodies is quite intriguing. He chuckles softly. But you're right. Pretending is very exhausting. You can never truly be close to someone if you're always pretending. Though, I don't really need to do that, do I? I just need juicy, sweet emotions. Well, who am I kidding? I'm the most pathetic incubus in the world. I need more than just that. He's flipping through the treatise a bit longer before letting out a sigh. His stomach growls again. It seems he could use an emotional snack. Don't we have... I think we have something for that. I think we've covered all the important stuff. I suppose it's time to wrap things up. He starts to rise from the floor. Yeah, wait, how did it happen that no one explained anything to you? Even I had a briefing, a 2-minute one. I'll tell you, but promise you won't laugh. I promise. Relief washes over his face. Yes, wonderful. I accidentally sold my soul on the darknet. And you became an incubus? What website did you use? He holds a dramatic pause. Burst out laughing. No, I made a promise. That's for the next playthrough. Go on, sugar. What an idiot I was. I dropped out of college back then because of constant stress. Moved into a tiny dump and barely left my apartment. I was scraping by with some freelance work. I talked, well, sometimes I chatted with various anonymous folks from 4chan. Don't do that. People without names, gender, or age. And then I stumbled upon a stupid ad. What did I have to lose? Definitely not a demon 7566. In the chat offered me a chance to escape loneliness. Later, after I turned into this
creature. He told me he did it for laughs. Not for the lulls. He left no instructions, just wrote "get good" in the chat and deleted all contacts.
Aww.
He was curious to see if I could handle it. His chance to escape loneliness turned out to be putting me in an incredibly deadly situation.
He lifts his eyes to me. This memory is a fresh wound for him. Before I can even respond, he jumps up from the floor.
But I've already wasted enough of your time.
He clops his way to the counter.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really understand much. Those chapters are so strange.
He lets out a quiet chuckle.
But you know what? It was great. I haven't had this much fun in a while. I think I even ate properly. Finally, positive energy. I mean, thanks for the lunch. I'm not sure if I need to pay you for that too, but I'll leave some money just in case.
His tail twitches awkwardly.
I haven't really interacted with people since college killed my will to live. It felt strange not to feel like such an idiot around someone else. Thank you very much.
He tosses some money into the jar, then takes a deep breath and adds,
And, maybe someday we could, well, hang out together? Not as a lesson, just play some silly games, like friends.
Like Mario Kart? The most bonding game ever? Why not as friends? We could make it a date. Waggle eyebrows manually.
A date?
His tail starts waggling wildly, knocking over 3 bags of chips, a can of soda, and a bottle of Gloomy D. Gloomy D! Like Sunny D, but evil.
I'm in. Of course, I'm ready.
He struggles to rein in the flow of enthusiasm and takes a frantic breath.
See you then. Goodbye. Bye, Espoir. Good luck with your shift. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, I have 3 boyfriends, and they're all monsters, and they're all probably not going to get along. The gas station returned to silence, broken only by the hum of refrigerators and my own too loud thoughts. So, a crazy god, a vampire thug, and a shy incubus walk into a gas station. Sounds like the start of a really bad joke. My life is now a joke. Just great. I just wanted to pay my bills. I didn't sign up for interdimensional quarrels and therapy sessions for the undead. But, on the other hand, I wasn't eaten, and I wasn't turned into a piece of furniture. By the standards of this night, that's a resounding success. I cautiously glanced at the door to Bob's office. There was a low, guttural humming, like a giant, disgruntled computer tower was working inside. The clock on the wall indicated it was the end of my shift. With a heavy sigh of relief, I began closing up the place. Finally, I walked to the front door, inserted the key into the lock, and was about to turn it, when suddenly...
Organism!
Yeah, Bob? I jumped in place, nearly dropping everything.
Organism, your performance has exceeded all my algorithmic predictions by 47.3%. You are not just an organism, you are an efficient, flawless machine for generating currency. I am feeling an emotion your kind describes as managerial pride. If you keep up the good work, the possibility of receiving a 25-cent bonus will become not just a hypothetical, but quite real. Go, organism. Restore your energy resources and return for further exploitation. I would probably respect a manager who said go and return for more exploitation.
What a relief. He vanished as suddenly as he appeared, leaving nothing but ringing silence behind. I stood for a few seconds, processing what I'd heard. Then I slowly turned the key in the lock. Click. First shift completed. I survived. And now I can do anything, which means... Oh! I can go out with my Pookies! Who's my favorite Pookie, though? Actually, yeah, why don't I go least to favorite? With Bob being the least. Or no, just going home. Sorry, sweethearts. I got some espoir time to take care of. No, I've had enough adventures for one day. The bus arrived surprisingly quickly. I climbed into the half-empty cabin and collapsed onto the seat by the window. Outside, the waking city rolled by. Ordinary people heading to ordinary jobs, none of them selling discount rot or fending off vampires. My pigsty retreat never felt so homely and cozy. The familiar creak of floorboards, the smell of dust and cheap coffee, all seemed heaven-sent. I didn't even bother with dinner, just shrugged off my clothes and fell into my bed. Soft, familiar, free of tentacles and ectoplasm. No monsters, no threats, just silence and pleasant, nightmarish dreams. Oh, lovely. All right, in fourth place, Bobby. Oh no, Mr. Manager, we're not saying goodbye just yet. You're gonna put those tentacles are gonna be exploited. I head back to the gas station and push open the door to his office. Oh no, Mr. Bob! In the middle of the room, buried under folders and invoices, stood a gigantic, ridiculous canopy bed. And on it, surrounded by rose petals, reclined Bob. Or rather, he wasn't just lying there, he was posing. One tentacle coyly supported his spherical body, where a human's chin would be. Others were elegantly draped over the silk sheets. His numerous eyes blinked slowly, focusing on me.
Ah, organism. I wasn't expecting you so soon.
His voice, as always, boomed in my head, but now it had sultry undertones.
But since you are here...
One tentacle, slowly, seductively beckoned me forward.
I propose we spend the evening in romantic engagement. We'll study void, bib okay, enclosure schemes.
Wait, isn't that the lubricant you were talking about? Oh no, I'm going to lubricant his tentacles. Oh dear, oh no, Bob. I took a step into the office and slowly closed the door behind me. I don't know how to feel about this, because I kind of enjoy that, Bob. Bob, are you awakening something in me, Bob? Okay, now to get to the actual schmuckum-pookies. I'm gonna have to say David's in third place. I love David, but he's in third place. Maybe it was a bad idea. Or maybe it was my best one yet. The creature on the other end informs me in a raspy voice that he'll be here in 10 minutes. Oh, 'cause he gave me his number. And sure enough, soon the roar of a motorcycle shatters the silence of the night. A battered but powerful bike pulls up next to me.
Come on, move your sweet booty cheeks. Sunrise is soon.
Aww. I'm gonna need a helmet, though. His voice sounds gentle. I move my booty cheeks and climb onto the seat behind him, wrapping my arms around his waist. He lets out a satisfied sigh.
And by the way, enjoy today's sunrise while you can.
Uh-oh. I freeze. I know exactly what he means. This could be my last sunrise as a human. All right. Say nothing and hug him tighter. I say nothing, just snuggle closer to him, burying my face in his leather jacket. Screw it. Let him do what he wants. He'll give me eternity without spaghetti, but unlike Bella Swan, I won't have to wait 4 whole movies for it. Whatever awaits us, eternal wanderings, arguments over who cleans the blood off the dishes today, and the necessity of pretending to be our own descendants. Yeah, because that is something vampires need to do. We'll face it together. The motorcycle roars and heads out onto the highway. Aww. Aww, that's sweet. Okay, who is number 2 Pookum Schmookums? Who has stolen my heart the second amount? I'm gonna have to, our darling Mad King. At first he had my entire heart, but Victor knows about Silent Hill and Dark Souls. Come on now. How many times have I brought up Bloodborne, Dark Souls, maybe even Silent Hill, and random anime in any of my videos? Victor's number 1. So that means a carriage for the Queen. The words escaped my lips before I could think them through. I shouted into the void, expecting, at best, an echo. But the void answered. From around the corner, With a quiet clatter of hooves on asphalt, it appeared, a carriage crafted from bones, polished to a shine, drawn by a pair of horses woven from pure shadows. Cool! The carriage door swung open by itself, inviting me inside.
How mysterious.
I stepped over the threshold, and the world spun into a kaleidoscope of mad colors and sentient frogs. When the whirlwind subsided, I felt myself falling, but instead of a hard landing, I found myself in someone's embrace.
Oh!
Oh, shoot, maybe he should be Pookie number 1. No, I like Victor. This is so sweet. I love my Mad King.
I knew you would come, my dear.
De'Aaron's voice was velvety and sly. I looked down and realized that my t-shirt and jeans had been replaced by some elegant attire. How old-fashioned of him.
The kingdom missed you so much. Every crooked spire of this castle longed for your silhouette. Every mad courtier whispered your name, hoping you would return and bring even more chaos to our usual chaos.
Ooh, it's gonna be so chaotic up in here. He looked into my eyes, and his gaze was a mix of madness, adoration, and the promise of the most unpredictable eternity.
Everything. I will give you everything. How about a pet? I can bring you the most beautiful griffin, or better yet 2, so they won't be bored when I take you for rides around our lands. If one moon bores you, we'll have 3. Or I could get a few garden gnomes and, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let it be a surprise.
He pulls me closer by the waist. His lips almost touch the shell of my ear as he speaks the next words.
You will never be sad again. From this moment, sadness for you is just a word in a foreign language, my dear. My queen.
I am very alright with everything that is happening right now. And all it took was one night shift at a gas station. I am very okay with this. Alright, time for my Pookie number 1. Victor? Victor promises to come faster than the wind. True to his word, when his car pulls up into the parking lot, he nearly knocks over the trash bin. My bad. It's an old, well-maintained car. Well, clearly inherited from his grandfather. Inside, it's warm and smells nice. His apartment is exactly as I imagined. A bit cluttered, but cozy. Aww. And soon, I get humiliated by the very first boss. Victor, sitting next to me, laughs. Hey, Yundex gun door is very difficult. Come on now. Why is that gnome here? Why did that gnome come with me? Was the gnome in all the other endings?
It's not that you're bad at this, as you say. It's just that I'm a nerd with a whole lot of free time.
His fingers glide effortlessly over the buttons. I feel at ease. For the first time in a long while, no fear, no tension, just 2 people playing video games. And we're playing on a great console too, see him? He's got a PlayStation. He's a PlayStation boy. Yeah! Rest my head on his shoulder. He freezes for a second, then a blush appears on his violet cheeks. He coughs awkwardly but doesn't pull away. Instead, he gently leans his head towards mine.
Espoir, you've made me so happy in just one evening, and I'll do everything I can to make you happy.
I close my eyes, listening to the quiet clicking of buttons. An incubus partner. My partner is an incubus, and he's better at Souls-like games than I am. For now. Oh, I'm gonna get good. Hey, I beat Ornstein and Smo. Greatest video game achievement of my life. Something very interesting is definitely happening with my life. You mean everything else wasn't interesting? Okay, so I'm sure there's bad endings. I'm sure there's ways this could all go wrong, but I'm very, very tired, and I would like to, I've already missed most of October. I would like to finish some of these Halloween games, at least maybe in November. So I will come back to this game because I really, really like this, and I want all of them. All of them, please. Even the wolf, even Bob. I gotta see what happens if you do sell out David to the wolf. But I will put that in a different video, so we can just leave off with this nice, happy ending of being with all our monster husbands. So if you don't want to miss that video, just stay tuned, like, subscribe to my channel, maybe get notifications with the little bell thing. Why does it look like my microphone's broken? I sure hope it's not. And if you would like to watch me play more amazing visual novels where I fall in love with characters that I really, really shouldn't have, feel free to peruse and look around my channel. And I know it's possible for us to reach 100,000 subscribers, so liking or subscribing or even just commenting on my channel would help us out a whole bunch. But I would like to know who your favorite #1 monster boy is. 'Cause mine is Victor, but Darren is a very close second, like, not even second, like, first place 0.5. But if you feel comfortable, I'd love to know which one is your favorite. But anyway, until next time, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.